Welcome to a Moments of Bach bonus episode with soprano Emily Wood. We just performed cantata number 147, Herz und Mund und Tat und Leben, and while we are riding the concert high of performing this cantata, we decided we would do a quick podcast post-concert. We are currently in the sacristy of the church just after the concert. So if you hear some background noise, it's the people who are sticking around after the concert. So Emily, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for sticking around. We just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this performance, and at first I have to say that it was a great performance by you, Emily. I think the soprano solo was really nice. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
So one thing, I want to get your thoughts in a second, but one thing I have to bring up before I forget is when we practiced the solo, we noticed there was like a wrong note in one of the vocal score type things, and then so we actually had to check the Bach manuscript, which was a fun thing that I don't have to do that often, but we did, and then it like, I don't know if you were thinking about it in the concert today. I was just like, yep, it's better. It's a note that, I'll plug it in here. It's a note that doesn't match the chord underneath. It's a high A, and just like it leaps up to a high A, and it's supposed to be, or it says it's a G, but it's a typo. It's actually an A. Yes, in the soprano part.
Oh, whoa, that's big.
Yeah. So we changed it to what Bach had intended, and it is better, even though it doesn't match the chord.
Yeah, kind of crunchy.
Yeah. So anyway, Emily, what was your favorite part about all this?
Goodness. So hearing the whole cantata in context was really neat, because you have, the movements that are sort of like prayers and almost pleas, and then there you have the Jesus bleibet, which is so, peaceful and like reassuring.
Yeah.
And just this, very definitive happy ending, that kind of thing. I just love the contrast through it all.
That's a great point.
And then in the soprano aria, I think it's interesting. Baroque music just in general is interesting because of how you have the different moods throughout, with like even within an individual aria. But in this one, it's just interesting. We're in a minor key, and the text is essentially, prepare my heart, Lord. And there are some sections that seem very confident and calm, and then the developmental section there's like this, you detect this like anxiety, like man is so anxious.
It's the same text, right?
Yeah, and it's the same text, so there's like, you can really pick out the kind of wavering affects, I guess, and emotions throughout, and it really paints an interesting like theological picture and narrative that I appreciate a lot. That's pretty cool.
So cool.
Yeah, it's not just divided. The text is not just divided by section necessarily. Is that what?
Yeah, like so the minor part of it, or the unusual weird harmony, would like add a context to the music, to the words. It's like, it's why music is so powerful, right? Because like just clothing those words with that music, the different music, like changes the meaning of it. It kind of reminds me of the Kuleshov effect in films, where it's like if you cut from one thing to another thing, like it means something different. As if the first thing that you chose to cut to, I'm not explaining this very well, but you know what I mean? Just context matters is what I'm saying. And if you cut to something after having seen something sad and cut to a reaction shot or something, but then if you cut to that same exact shot after seeing something happy or whatever, they could be the same face that you're seeing on the second shot, and you can tell that it looks different to you because of the context. But I think that's what's great about this stuff and Bach, and we don't change, like wildly per movement, right? But then, it's a great point, Emily. I never really thought about it that way.
And he doesn't have to do that. Like it would be more straightforward for him to set the B section. He gets really kind of wild in his aria B sections. It would make more sense for that to be different words. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and he sometimes does that in arias, right? Well, I think there's the one famous one I'm thinking of is like in the St. John Passion. I think it's an alto aria where that is like that, right? It's kind of the centerpiece where right when he dies, and it's the middle part is like heroic. It's about the hero of heaven, but then the outside parts are
Those are
it is
completely
finished.
different.
It is finished text. And so when she sings it is finished in the middle, it's like heroic, but when she sings it on the outsides, it's like devastatingly tragic, you know. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah, drawing out like the different facets of a text, you know, and how we can say something in multiple different ways and communicate different messages that way. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing aria. But yeah, I just love the Mary stuff and all this, you know. And anyway, what do you think about movement 1? Because for me, Emily, that's something that I've been just falling in love with when I've been working on this, you know. It's just like those leaps and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, you know, when you mentioned how the leaping in the lines is related to this image of John the Baptist leaping in Elizabeth's womb. Like, that's a very interesting bit of text painting there. You would almost think like that's like borderline cheesy, but he does it in a way that's not. It works so smoothly, and it's not like obvious in your face. Like, now that you like have brought that context, you can go, oh yeah, okay, I hear that, but it wouldn't like, you know, stand out to you like that.
Yeah, I wonder, because like it does, you're right in movement 1. And then in 8, it does kind of stand out in that one moment where there's a little thing, and then literally it's talking about the baby leaping right there, and it's like there's 2 English horns or oboe da caccia, and they're doing legato for the whole thing except for one moment, and it's when like the baby John leaps, and that's right when they go staccato. So that one is kind of cutesy, but like it works, right? I mean. I told the choir, like, this is, we were dragging on the movement, and once I told them it was like, you have to sing it light and cute. You're the baby's leaping for joy in the womb and stuff, and that worked. But I don't know. I just think that's sort of almost cartoony. You know how like cartoons used to be scored that way, where it was just like every single movement happening on screen is just like a xylophone chromatic thing or whatever. Like, but those things are so colorful and they're amazing to listen to. This music is just so colorful. It paints the picture like really obviously like that. Yeah, we went really fast on the last chorale. What did you think about that, Emily?
I mean,
that's a weird choice by me.
Definitely, definitely a different choice.
Yeah.
But I think it was effective, honestly, because, you're at the end of the cantata, there's been all of this drama throughout.
Sure.
And so that last movement kind of ties everything together in this little joyful bow. And so I think that brightening it up that way was really effective, because it really drives home the point of like, okay, this is the whole point of the cantata. This is a good thing. Like, really drives home those main themes. Yeah,
that Jesus remains my joy. It's a great text at the end, because that's like, and you mentioned this earlier, Emily. It ties it up because it's like, it's not just like Jesus is my joy, but Jesus remains my joy. This is the ending. This is how we're sent off. So
the chorale itself too. I mean, it just feels like a normal speed when you go this fast, right? Because like, if you go slow or medium, then the chorale is pretty slow because it's all those longer notes. That happens. That's an inevitable part of some of Bach's chorale settings. But in this one, you can go fast because it's really flexible.
Yeah.
So it does work.
just don't know. I mean, I just don't know of a more perfect like closer of a cantata, because the chorale, sometimes these chorale movements can be a little bit, honestly, like anticlimactic because they're short, and it's just a simple chorale. Wouldn't have really been that way, I guess, to them in the day because they recognized the tune and it would have been comforting ending. But here you have it, the best of both worlds, right? The known tune chorale, but then also this beautiful clothing of this triplet, that famous triplet obligato.
It's funny because now the world famous thing about this is the eighth notes, really.
Yeah.
And the triplety eighth note thing. And meanwhile, in Bach's time, that was the thing he kind of had to sell, that it was going to have this. That was the new thing. That was like, it was a pastoral, like da 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 da, in a folksy key of G major and just like very outdoorsy. And that was what was added, whereas the straight ahead hymn tune was the thing that they would have recognized. Where now it's kind of the other way around. Most people don't know this hymn, but they sure know this setting. But now it's completely intertwined, and you can't really separate them anymore.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Emily. Thanks for doing this, and also just thanks for singing on the cantata. It was such a great experience.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is going to be one of our bonus episodes. We'll probably release this near the end of the year. Okay, Emily, can you send us off?
Until next time, enjoy those moments.